Joining me once again from cv.co.nz, Tom O'Neill. Tom, kia ora. Thanks for your time.
Well done, my friend.
I do love the idea of turning the table on the robots, but I'm not sure that this is an effective strategy. 819 jobs in a month, and what he got, 3 actual interviews that might lead somewhere? That's a terrible return on investment in some ways.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you think if he's smart enough to set up an AI bot, it'd probably be a bit more proactive in terms of just trying to, tailor his message to the employer. The problem is people read this and sort of get carried away here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, here in New Zealand, there may only be 800 jobs in the whole industry for a job type in the whole year.
Yeah.
So this is something we need to be conscious of. We're not America.
Yeah.
And just by setting up an AI bot and sending it out to 40 jobs, it kind of potentially a false economy in some respects, because we are ending up sending out applications that are just poor quality. What's super important, see, part of the question I would have was, what was his CV like?
Yeah.
It's one thing to say this is the response, but if he had a really poor quality CV, that's going to lead to results like that.
Yeah.
So it's about really making sure that you are spending time. Job hunting is a job.
Yeah.
Job hunting is hard work. And if we try and augment it out to sort of robots, they just don't get the understanding. They can't mirror what the employer is seeking. And again, if the CV is flawed in the first place, well, you're really, really struggling.
Yeah. Actually, you just getting your name out there. And to an extent, it is a numbers game. I mean, it's a little bit like sales. You need to make so many phone calls in order to get so many leads. And look, if you apply for X number of jobs, you might get some interviews. But that doesn't apply if your CV's rubbish to start with, right?
Well, that's the thing. You're building a flawed structure, and then now you're trying to get out there and get people to walk on that structure or live in that structure. But if it's flawed, you're really struggling right from the word go. We've got to understand we're selling ourselves. We're selling our whole product. As a Christian, I hate saying it like that, but it's how it is. I'm a product. How do I get my message across to a prospective employer that engages them, gets them excited about my personal application, and at the same time sort of highlights my true value? When we get someone else to do that through AI, it's not going to do that. It's just going to fire off one CV that's not tailored, no tailored cover letter, and just really hope for the best.
And now, one thing I suppose to say about this, and it was an intellectual exercise. Now, this wasn't a guy who was seriously looking for work. He was doing this as an intellectual exercise so that he could write a Substack article about it. So there's a little bit of a, hey, let's see what happens about this, rather than, my understanding is, actually looking for work. However, one thing that did come from this, which was seen as a positive, instead of feeling wave after wave of depression and rejection every time he got a no from all of the jobs that he applied to, he let the robot take the hit on all of that. Reading the letters the next day or a couple of days later, it wasn't impacting their self-esteem and their confidence as much, because these were jobs that they hadn't even put mental energy into applying for. Particularly this week, it's Mental Health Awareness Week this week. Perhaps this is a way of making sure that when we are applying for job after job after job, that we're also protecting our mental well-being as a part of this, Tom?
Yeah, health is massively important for us. Particularly if we don't have a job. Let's say I'm a sales rep and I'm proud to go to dinner and tell friends, I'm a sales rep, I sell this product, and suddenly I don't have that job. What am I?
Yeah.
So there's huge esteem and value that comes with our roles. The problem is that to a point we've got to understand job hunting sucks.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of just getting on with it. Unfortunately, it's about getting that support getting those people around you to love and support and pray and give you wisdom and counsel, but again, also just getting CVs in the marketplace that make sense, that are not just random cracks at it. I mean, it's nice to go, oh, well, I missed out on those. Literally, for this guy, was it 850 jobs?
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother me because AI took the hit. Well, yeah, or I could have had 40 job interviews because I took the time just to invest that bit more time in it. Again, it's a really, really, really tough time, job hunting. But it's like anything. If you bake a cake and you sort of throw the ingredients together or get a machine to have a crack at it, is it going to be a delicious cake? Probably not.
Yeah.
If you don't put love and care and etc. into it, there's a much higher chance it'll be well received by the taster, or by the consumer. And that's what we've got to think about. We're creating a document for a consumer, and so it's making it relevant for them.
Yeah, and in terms of return on investment, if you haven't invested much into it, if you haven't really put a lot of personal thought and commitment to the process, I suppose it's no surprise that you don't get much return.
Well, it's like LinkedIn. You know, people say to me, oh, LinkedIn's useless, doesn't work. And then you go on their LinkedIn profile and it's shocking. You know, they've got a photo of them having a beer at a pub, and then, you know, it's just got their basic jobs and you know, sort of the about sections, you know, sort of very lackadaisical. You're looking at it going, well, why would I hire this person? But if you invest in LinkedIn, spend time and think about the key things it wants, all the skills, you're going to actually end up with a great profile that's now going to get interest from employers.
And hey, that product, whether it be LinkedIn or the CV or the cover letter, making sure that you've invested in that. It is the best possible version of yourself, tailor-made to the position and the job that you're applying for. And hey, if you're thinking, gosh, where do I even start with this? Don't turn to the robots. Turn to cv.co.nz, an actual person who can walk you through the minefield of getting this right. Tom, thanks so much for what you do, and encouragement to you and your business, your ministry in this space. cv.co.nz for more information to give you the edge over others in the job market at the moment. Thanks so much for being on the program today.
Oh, look, a real pleasure, mate. And just one thing, I'm very happy to give free CV assessments. If you've got your CV and you're not sure if it's hitting the mark, email me, tom@cv.co.nz. That's Tom, Tom, @cv.co.nz.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.